Floyd's starting. That's what. Okay, the red light's on. Well, it took us 20 minutes to even try to get started in the first place.
Well, that's what you had. That's what happens when you try and upgrade your equipment. But
The mic's too sensitive.
yeah, it's all good. We'll
Yeah.
get there one day.
I'll definitely work on that this weekend because
But we have a sound guy now. It sounds like we're starting like as legit as you think we are right now.
Let's
We-
put it that way.
The bar is low right now as far as our tech people because it's me and Robbie, and really that means Robbie.
Yeah, I mean, I had to tell somebody what to tell my dad, what computer to buy because I don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
So I mean, but anyway, well, this is Counting by 7. This is week 3 of the podcast, episode 3. What week did we just finish in the NFL? Was it 9? Yeah.
6-2. We had a bye week already. You
Yeah.
guys, your
We
bye
haven't
week's
had a bye
11.
week, 7-2. So
Yeah.
yeah, so week 9, episode 3.
I think overall it's still been a great season for I think both of our franchises, both of our teams. But
Yeah, I mean, starting off, I guess we're over the midway point when we'll get to the games and shortly, but not a bad spot to be in. 7-2, 3-0 division lead. I mean, we'll get to the breakdowns.
and
but
for
yeah.
you, the Bears are in
Deep water,
complete and utter chaos.
deep water. They talked so much trash in the preseason and the postseason and the early stages. Well, not the early stages of off season, but that transition from off season to like camp and stuff. There's just so much Packers media against Bears media against Packers. Excuse me. Like we got Mitch is gonna be an MVP. Like
MVP.
Okay.
Like I think someone said on ESPN, like one of the mainstream people, they're like, yeah. So if you bet on that was a donation. That doesn't count as gambling. That was a donation. If you bet for Mitch to
You could
win
donate to our
MVP.
cause. Yeah.
But I read an article, like speaking of that on ESPN this week about like just the Bears' success and like from last year and
Success.
what they expected this year, and I think it was highlighting like Nagy, their head coach, just saying last year we came out of nowhere, no one really expected anything, and I think that's sort of true. But when you deal for Khalil Mack, like people are going to expect something from your defense, and they had a special year. But
Last year was definitely a better year for their defense than this year.
Yeah,
I feel like.
I mean, you put enough film out there, so people are going to figure it out. Like the NFL is full of just like gurus, geniuses, like people that watch film. That is their job. That is literally their job. Figure out how to either stop this defense or figure out how to make sure that we can score on this defense. And I mean, I think it's just the technology is there for you to be able to see weaknesses, or I know like how to make Khalil Mack less effective. I mean, he's still a very dominant player in the NFL. Don't get me wrong, but like if he's your only guy, which the Bears have some players on defense, but ultimately you got to score.
Yeah.
And right now they're just not scoring.
They can't score.
Yeah,
It's because their quarterback is trash.
So yeah, but that's I read an article just saying like when people expect you to be good, it's so much harder to be good. It's kind of that was essentially the
Well, I mean,
article.
you gotta think like, and I'm not advocating for Mitch because I think he obviously went early, but they traded up to get him, so the bar is higher for him.
Yeah, of course.
Because they're like, oh man, at the time, obviously, you pass up Mahomes and Watson, who were graded higher than him, but you think like, okay, maybe he actually must be special. Psych.
Yeah, and I think part of it goes back to, we've talked about this a few times. I'm not sure since we've launched the podcast on YouTube, but I think a lot of that has to do with who's getting drafted by who. Like, so Andy Reid is a great offensive coach.
Yeah, and that is a very fair argument because I've said that before too. Like Mahomes, I'm not saying Mahomes isn't talented, but I mean. He's got an offense built around him, not tool wise, weapon wise, but he does have a system around him as well. So
yeah, I mean he's got weapons, he's got every skill position you could ask for. I think his offensive line is not the best in the league, but they're by no means bad.
No.
I think they're average to above average in Kansas City, in almost every offensive category. I mean, Sammy Watkins was a like top 5 pick by the Bills. I think we picked him at 4. We traded up to get him. Tyreek Hill is obviously a playmaker. They drafted another kid. Was it Robinson in the first round this year? Holiday, another guy, all speedsters. So they got guys that can just, score from anywhere, literally. Plus, their running back. They lose, they lose Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like Damian Williams is good. They get Shady McCoy, who's having a pretty good year when he's getting touches. But
yeah, I mean,
I think Damian Williams had a 91-yard touchdown or something crazy like that this week.
It would be way different if Mahomes got drafted to Miami.
Yeah,
it's a totally different type of thing. So
it's like
you don't know. And I mean, whoever is running the show for the Bears saw something in Mitch, was like, yeah, we got to have him early.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's fine. You're wrong, but
I mean, look at Peyton versus Ryan Leaf.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ryan Leaf.
I'm just saying, like, you take it now, you flip flop that. Is Peyton as good as he? Does he have the same career he does? I think Peyton was good enough to do that, but even take more recently,
I guess as they call him,
RG3 and Andrew Luck. They were supposed to be that next class that is just like, now if you flip flop that, is Andrew Luck still in the league because he's standing upright more, or is he out of the league sooner because
he's on the Redskins?
Is RG3, if he gets drafted by the Colts, is he, still in the league? Is he still effective because they protect him?
With the offensive line right now, maybe.
Well,
yeah, argument, right?
But to be fair, Indianapolis did not have that offensive line back when they drafted.
Luck isn't here.
So I mean, yeah, essentially, yeah.
Too little, too late.
So I think Big Ben. You can go back a little bit. He had, I think Tommy Maddox was the quarterback before him. They had a great defense. They had one of the best offensive lines, and I think they still had the bus. Jerome Bettis.
Yeah.
And then they had two other backs, like his first couple of years, that were just, they were studs.
Sean Mendenhall.
There was Deuce, I think. No, Deuce was Philly. What was the other dude? Yeah, there was a handful of guys for the Steelers that were there. What was it?
I think Mendenhall was on the team because I think
that sounds right.
I think he was the one that Clay hit and they fumbled.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, they had a couple good running backs for a couple of years. So he had time to develop. Not that he was the guy his first or second year as a starter, but I mean he won games. He went to the playoffs and won Super Bowls early in his career. But I think it was part of it. Pittsburgh is a stable organization. They do things, I think, kind of the right way. I mean, they build, I mean, I say that now after, in light of losing the 3 Bs in the last couple of years.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. It's a sensitive subject for some, and it's so crazy too because there's so many people that were like, we have the killer bees, and then all of a sudden it's like, man, we don't need any of them clowns. Ben is the real one, and I'm like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, and I get it. It's ironic. Yeah, but come on. And I mean, and they're still winning, so I'm not gonna say they're absolutely bad.
I mean, I think you look at franchises, and from an organization or an owner standpoint, Pittsburgh does things the right way because they try not to overpay. They blah blah blah. They do.
You can't hold out for money out there though.
Yeah, they have their
Rooney's ain't taking ain't gonna like that too much.
Yeah. Oh, did you also hear that the Steelers were in the market? They called the Jets.
Yeah, I had heard in in AB is saying more stuff again too, but I'd heard Le'Veon Bell was talking about that, and I guess the Packers had called, but okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with calling and asking, see what it takes to. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hey, what does it take to get that player off your team? Because they could be hey, he's a cancer, we'll give him to you for a 4th rounder.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think Gutekunst would trade for a cancer anyway, but I mean,
yeah, he
adds. We're doing a lot in the backfield now. We're throwing the ball to Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, and there was a point in time where Le'Veon Bell was the best catching back in the league. So it's not
out of the question.
It's not a need, but there's nothing wrong with someone hey, what's the going rate for Le'Veon Bell these days?
What could I get?
What can I get for these?
Any team would be silly.
These next 8 weeks, there's some,
And plus, he's under contract now for long term. You're going to pay a pretty penny, but
right.
I mean, and I think
that's obviously the reason. Again, and that's why people were I can't believe we're going to make a play for Bell. You can't read that deep into it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just in the NFL. It's all right. What does it cost? And I think on the podcast this week for us, the Bills, the beat writers were kind of national media overplays the trade deadline because
we did talk about it last week too. There was just like so much hype and nothing happened.
Yeah, and everybody calls. Everybody calls every week, in the offseason.
Up until that point, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that would have been hilarious though if Le'Veon Bell went back to the Steelers.
That would have been so funny. And then could you imagine if AB went back? Now, granted, let's just pretend they all play nice together. I mean, cool. But
hey, the grass is not always greener on the other side.
No, it's not.
And
clearly, I don't even want to go back into AB stuff, but he's like, he only wanted to play for the Patriots because then he was like, yeah, I wouldn't play for Green Bay for whatever reason. I'm like, who cares? Like no one's calling you.
Yeah, you're trying to meet with the NFL.
You see his tweet today?
I saw an article on. I didn't see exactly what it said.
I'll pull it up. This will be our first hot take from the actual Twitter.
Ooh, the Twitter poll.
I mean, granted, like I said, this happened earlier today because it's 7.
45. Yeah, 7 o'clock.
Let's see here.
Eastern
he deleted it. Well, dang.
That's all right.
That's unfortunate. But basically, he was saying, he was like, fuck the NFL, like, blah, 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 keeping me down and all that junk. Like, you're doing it to yourself.
At that point, let's see. ESPN, I just saw this before I came over. Antonio Brown backtracks after lashing out at the NFL. Like, dude's bipolar. Like, and I'm not trying to be like, he's crazy. Like, but he probably really is.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely not right, for sure. Like, and I mean, you can make all the CTE jokes that you want, but stuff like that definitely didn't help.
Yeah. Oh, you can look at his eyes and be like, all right, this dude's crazy. Like, and you have to be.
That bleached mustache, bro, is what really brought that on.
Yeah, dude. Like, he was a crazy looking dude, and like, you see him on all his interviews, and it's like
the only guy to ever be double covered every single play he's ever in to lead the league in receiving yards, as far as I'm aware. And not other than maybe Randy
Moss.
Moss.
He's bad, and you have to be crazy.
And that's what's like sad is his work ethic. Like, his workout videos are absurd.
Yeah,
and I mean, I'm not going to say the guy trains and doesn't have a good work ethic, but his work ethic is only for his body, not for his
mental sanity.
Performance, maybe. I don't know. Like, he's making himself better for what he wants to do, but he's such a problem to work with.
Yeah. I mean, I told you, like, before the season started, win number 1 in the offseason, not signing Antonio Brown or not trading for Antonio Brown. Like, and I say that, and I think he is a phenomenal athlete. He is a phenomenal receiver, but the extra is just right now at this point in his life and this point in his career, the extra is just not worth it.
Nope.
And I think
he posted a screenshot of his bank account, had $24 million in it. That's going to be gone.
Yeah, good luck.
100%. That's going to be way gone.
Live your lifestyle.
But yeah, right. Like,
go ahead.
The vast majority of people can live off that for the rest of their lives, I would like to think.
You give me 24 mil. This is a challenge. Anybody wants to donate 24 mil, I will
see if I can burn through it all.
I will not burn through it. I promise you that. I will not work another day in my life, and I will not burn that.
Buy a house, pay it off, pay off all your debt, put it in the bank.
Yeah, live off interest.
Yeah, pretty much
what normal people would do. But I mean, we can't fathom what they're going through.
You know that AB spends $10,000 on cryotherapy, so, and I don't know what he's got for sponsors these days after what's been going on. So,
he's got his feet are frozen.
So anyway, all right. Well, I guess since we're gonna go into the breakdowns here, I'm just gonna go and dump on Green Bay because we sucked. Like, there is nothing good that happened Sunday other than Zadarius Smith doing the Gravedigger celebration to honor Gilbert Brown, and I don't mean honor because he's not dead. He's actually active on Twitter. It was cool. Like, we really don't deserve Zadarius Smith at all. Like, his personality, the way that he is in the locker room, his leadership, the way he wants to do the old, like, sack leader celebrations, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Do not deserve that guy at all. But guess what? We still sucked on Sunday. Like, we have taken, I've said it, I think 2 weeks in a row, we haven't regressed. We have definitely regressed now. We're at a point of regression. Like, I can't even really even start with what the problem was. Like, we could not move the ball against a depleted Chargers defense to start things off, which really pissed me off because I think we're at a point now of comfortability with LaFleur 8 weeks in. Like, we can see what the offense can do coming off the 2 games that we did, which I thought was, okay, we're going to go in here to LA and we're going to shit on these guys.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't get couldn't get off the ball, couldn't move the ball, and all this other junk. Like,
Well, in all honesty, I feel like there's times and there's different. Like, I don't think the Chargers are as bad as their record shows. They have too many skill players, but I do agree with you saying that their defense was depleted. They don't have either one of their starting safeties, I don't believe, or they did not this past week.
no, they don't. They're both on IR actually,
and that really changes their secondary and their defense. On offense, getting Melvin Gordon back, that's not going to hurt you. The first 2 weeks that he was active, he didn't really do too much. I think he was a little bit more involved this week and did a little bit better. I think also, if I read correctly, the offensive line for the Chargers was finally healthy this week. So offensively, they looked a lot better than what they had. So injuries play a part in what they are. LA, the Chargers, they typically and historically start slow and they finish well. Their division, I don't want to say it's up in the air, but the Chiefs, with Mahomes being injured, even if he comes back, with that type of, a dislocated kneecap, that could happen again. So, I think, they might be, sensing a little bit of vulnerability there. And, the AFC is not strong this year. I mean, it really, truly is not. There's a lot of teams that I thought were going to be a lot better than what they are, and they're not. The AFC is shit this year.
Yeah, I don't think the AFC is that strong either. And I was pulling up here just some of the stats from the first half of the game just to prove how piss poor we were, right? Start on own 25, 3 plays, -7 yards, punt, drive time, 2 minutes, 43 seconds. Start on own 36 plays, 5 total yards, punt, 3:27 total time. Start own 18, 9 plays, 37 yards, punt, 5:26 time. Own 23, 3 plays, 2 yards, punt, minute 42. What the fuck? Like, I don't even know. And people were, giving LaFleur a hard time offensively, but it looked like everyone was asleep. And there was some stuff going on with them. And just to harp on the defense, like you said, their offensive line was a little healthier, but nobody. I don't know what's going on. And Jair, call it sophomore slump. His last 2 games have not been his best. Yeah. He just hasn't looked as sharp. And when he was going back for that pick, it's LA. It's sunny all the time, so it's definitely easy to say he lost in the ball. I mean, I think it was something like 85 degrees or something during the game. Said it was hot, so.
Must be nice.
But there was some stuff going on with travel, saying that the team got there late and all this stuff, and I don't have all that pulled up in front of me, but Rodgers had said some stuff post game about being more accountable for what we do 48 hours before a game, not calling anybody out, just saying we as a team need to be more accountable, just for what we do, leading up to a game. And I think they partied. It's a younger team. Rodgers is the guy. Rodgers is where Favre was when Rodgers got drafted. I think that we don't look at that from a fan's perspective. Yeah, we see all these new guys and they're flashy and they're young and they're explosive. And I'm not saying Rodgers isn't, but Rodgers is he's maturing the locker room. Yeah, exactly. He's been there. So
he's won championships. He's deep playoff runs.
So
he knows that.
So I think they went to LA and partied, and I'm not saying that they can't celebrate, but at the same time, Matt LaFleur had even said, you can believe, tout, how good you are and believe in yourself, but if you don't show up, then it's,
it's the NFL.
It's all for nothing. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it is a week-to-week league, and everybody says that, and I feel like people are almost overuse that, but it's, every week there's an example. My Bills last week or the week before, they got shit on.
Yeah, I mean, we got just. It's a bad game, and it's a game that you need. I mean, when I said that about Philly, okay, that's a decent football team we lost to. It was a good loss. We responded. We have to respond to Carolina next week, and we'll talk about that going into the bye. If we go into the bye 8-2, we're already healthy right now. We should be golden.
Yeah,
at least for the playoffs. That's my thought, because you're coming out 8-2 off a bye. You only got to win maybe, like we said, maybe 3 or 4 more games to secure it.
I think 11 in either league is going to get you in the playoffs.
Hopefully, probably, yeah.
Hopefully, it'll get you, your division. For us, I don't know if 11 wins might not win us the division. Although New England did lose this week, and I think I've kind of been saying it that I don't think New England is as good as everybody else. I've been alluding to it. I still think they are a good team. Their defense is elite. It's historic at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
but you can do some things against them.
Yeah, I mean, you can, and it's like, because I mean that's the measuring stick, I guess, this year is like what can you do against New England's defense? And I evaluate Green Bay on a week-to-week basis, and right now I look at okay, who's the defending champion? Well, it's it's Patriots, and so they've got the best defense. Last week's team couldn't do shit against them. I mean, that's just period. And and it's not that nobody's showing up because Rodgers tried to feed the ball to Devontae, and I mean, I felt like because the week that Rodgers said we need to get him involved and fed him he got like 120 yards or something crazy. Yeah. Like that's good against a defense that is already waning maybe with some injuries or something. And I'm again like talking out of my ass here because I said both their safeties were on IR, but he's also had turf toe. He's been out for 5 weeks. Like he has to get reacclimated to the season again. So maybe let's not force it to him as much. We should utilize Aaron Jones more. The Chargers did do a really good job of stacking Joey Bosa and it's not Melvin Gordon who plays defense.
Gordon, not Melvin.
Yeah, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So no one else knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's okay.
Anyway,
the edge rusher Gordon.
The other edge rusher. They stacked him on both sides, and it worked out really good because you are overloading Bakhtiari, you're overloading Balaga, and I mean they were getting. I mean it was a bad day. Just nothing. Now the return game stepped up, so that was good. So coming back, still some positive notes. Just looking forward, I'm just gonna because there's just nothing. Again, the only positive thing for me is that celebration. Yeah. So I'd rather just go and talk about Carolina. So going into that, Ibrahim Campbell's back. That's big. So to fill in that, sub linebacker package and all that stuff like Raven Green was doing before he got injured. So that'll be nice to have him in there.
Having more depth never hurts. Plus,
especially when the depth is amazing.
Yeah, and So, and that you got to think about your teams. I mean, special teams is going to be better because of that.
Yeah,
less snaps for those guys.
And that's the other thing too that it's not again the defense we used to say about Dom Capers' defense for a while after 2010, it was bend, don't break, but it wasn't as good as it is now. We do a pretty decent job of keeping people out of the box when they get in the red zone. We have given up yards. I think we're ranked 24th overall or something like that. Or overall, I think it's a little higher, but in total offense or something, we're 24th. But it's nice though when they get down there, we're not letting in scores, only giving up 3. But I want us to get back to those first 4 weeks where there's a fear of don't throw over here, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah, of course.
And just going to the Carolina thing, we have to stop McCaffrey, otherwise it's over.
Yeah,
he's on another level this year. We're already not good against the run. I'm pretty sure Kenny Clark's playing hurt, or we're not getting enough interior pressure to where he's just getting totally eliminated from the game. First couple weeks was great, so I think he's a little banged up and it's just not out. Because
they could be doubling and tripling him too in the middle.
Yeah, because I don't think they're. Who's their backup? Kyle Allen, is that right?
Yeah, Kyle Allen.
I don't think Kyle Allen can handle our pass rush if he gets home. I really just don't.
No, he's not a mobile quarterback. He's still. This is his first year starting. I can't remember. He was undrafted. I'm just not sure if it was this year or last year. I think it was last year. We could probably find that out, but it doesn't. I mean,
who cares?
Yeah,
so he's playing right now. So.
He's an undrafted quarterback that Again, I saw another article on ESPN or a couple of the bigger guys like I think it was Woody on one of the NFL shows was like, yeah, I'm more scared of Kyle Allen right now than Cam Newton this season. Well, Cam Newton's on IR, so that's an easy statement. But at this point in Cam's career, and I think Woody was trying to make the point, I'm not scared of Cam Newton anymore.
I don't know.
So good luck if he goes to the Bears.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Can't wait. But yeah, I mean, so we have to contain McCaffrey, and defensively they just have to wake up, man. And it's in Green Bay, and it looks like it might snow, and that'd be great. And see, the thing is, I'm pretty sure the team got admonished for whatever happened, and they addressed the loss. LaFleur said, "All right, we're stretching inside, we're practicing outside." He's making it fun. Yeah. He said, "This is Packers football." This guy is a rookie head coach, by the way, saying this is Packers football. Why are we not practicing in the snow? Tell me this guy isn't like Vince Lombardi's second coming. Like maybe that is like too much of. I mean, maybe that's a bold claim, but
a little soon. But I mean, I get what you're saying.
For the team is there.
Yeah,
I'll put it that way.
He's all in.
Oh yeah, I mean he's all into the culture, the team, just the everything. And I mean, I think that's great for a coach that wants to win. I mean,
Green Bay is a historic franchise. I don't think anybody could, no one can argue that. Like they are a historic franchise. Like it is, as far as coaching, there are a few destinations that might top Green Bay as far as if you're you don't really have a team.
If you're a legacy coach.
Yeah, I mean,
there's not a lot of places you really can go to try to continue somewhere.
Like New England is great right now, but think about them. Before Tom Brady, they really they had a couple good years, and I'm not saying they were a terrible franchise, but they weren't. I mean, they weren't what they are now. Right. If you take Belichick's era out of there, they're average at best.
Sure.
The Steelers, maybe you can say, they won a lot of championships. They're kind of the new age team, but they're not so far above other ones. But I think they're in that league.
Yeah.
You look at
San Francisco's got what, 5?
San Francisco, the Cowboys, some of those. Yeah. Like in the Cowboys, it's more just it's Jerry Jones. It's the big they've won Super Bowls. They've done some things. So again. But other than that, San Francisco, yeah. I mean, I get it, but
I guess you could say you can make a case for Baltimore as well. But still,
you could,
yeah,
but
it's nice. I just like LaFleur's attitude and the way that he takes care of business.
So yeah, I
like his demeanor and the way he handles press. I mean, he's a cool dude, and whatever his legacy is for him, if we're blessed to get as many years as we got out of McCarthy. Yeah. And nothing gets stale, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Even when we have bad players, because he's gonna. I mean, I feel like that just the floor and Gutekunst and the environment has taken some players. Like we got Redmond off waivers. He has been destroying it, and he's a reason why Josh Jackson isn't playing. Like they're pulling stuff out of these guys.
You have to develop players.
They're making Za'Darius was with our team for 3 weeks, and he was like, "Yep, you're a captain."
Yeah.
All through training camp was like, you're a leader, you lead this defense, and that, just to touch on this real quick, I think I said it either last week or the week before, I'm kind of starting to get on the whole Blake Martinez thing, like maybe we're overvaluing him just a little bit and I like him, and I think he's great, he's got,
I think your exact words were, the jersey's not on my Christmas list.
It is,
it is.
It's not. No, it isn't on my Christmas list. That is the sentence, is what I said last week. But I'm like, the more that I watch other offenses get into our secondary, like Blake Martinez is supposed to be the front.
Yeah.
And he's a phenomenal tackler. And he's got some blitzing qualities, nothing that, jumps out at me. It's not like,
he's not the Luke Kuechly, like this superior athlete. He's a good, sound football player.
He literally reminds me of AJ Hawk, and they also wear the same number. And it's almost ironic because AJ could he could cover, but Blake just can't. Like it's becoming more apparent that he can tackle, but he is just not, whatever reason's going, like I don't know what's going on in that section of the defense, but if it's zone or whatever's going on, it's just not there.
It sounds like he's like a middle linebacker that used to play for the Bills, Preston Brown, now plays for Cincinnati, I believe. Great tackler, led our team in tackles for a number of years. Just wasn't an explosive athlete, like kind of like good, strong, like good presence, like not scared to tackle. Could rush a little bit. Have some blitzes, have some success with that.
He might get franchise tag, probably, Blake.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's just.
And that's not a bad guy to have on your team. No, it's
not, because he's leading the league in tackles, right? So you have to have someone that can bring the ball carrier down. Obviously,
but you also, in a passing league, you have to have someone that's able to cover
for his speed and his size. Like he needs to do more, and I think maybe these second 8 weeks, like he can redeem himself. That's entirely possible. He could get like 2 pick sixes in a row.
Yeah,
and I'm like, hey, he can cover. Cool.
Yeah,
sold. But yeah, no, he's not on my Christmas.
Well, the other thing, like
Ronell Savage is though.
For our for our defense, like we had a young Edmonds, Tremaine Edmonds. Last year was his rookie year. Like top 20 pick. We traded up to get him as our second, first rounder. First couple weeks you could see the athleticism, but you could also see like savvy quarterbacks. Like he bit on the play fake every time, and it wasn't until the last month of the season that you really saw, how good he could be, and he won AFC Player of the All Rookie December or whatever the award was. And so far this year he's been great in coverage. He does not have great hands. I will say that for Tremaine Edmunds. There's been a couple picks that I thought he could have gotten, but he's like 6'8". He runs like really well for a linebacker. He tackles well. Like, so, a lot of the balls that he's missing, those interceptions that, were sometimes you're like, oh man, he should have had that. It's like most guys aren't even getting to that ball just because he's so lanky and so athletic. And it's like
linebackers.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he hopefully in the next couple of years, he's the standard.
Yeah.
I mean,
so, but yeah, I mean, just that. I mean, that's my whole like take on just last week. It's not even like a good loss. Like no loss is good, but it's not even a loss where like you can take anything away. Like I said, just a celebration. And looking ahead, it's not a must-win game. I don't, because 7-3, it's still not as bad, especially when you have the 3-0 win, like the 3-0 lead in the division. But it's a week where, and my whole picks last week were, the whole division's gonna win, but the whole division lost. So it's a week the whole division lost, and we couldn't even put together a win against the depleted Chargers. Amazing. Yeah. So that's just my expert analysis.
Expert analysis.
Just blech.
Yeah. So on the other side of the stick, over here.
Yeah, it's ironic. Last week I win, you lose. This week I lose, you win.
Yeah. But so we had a much better week. I still think, we played a really not great Washington team.
And I'm not going to talk to you during your games, by the way. And I know you're going to get to it. I texted you how good you guys were looking, and then like all that shit started happening. I was like,
Yeah, so I did not get to watch the entire game of this, which was kind of disappointing, and I'm probably not going to be able to get to watch the much, if at all, of this week's game because I'm going on vacation next week with my wife. We're going to Florida.
Holla.
Yeah, which will be awesome, but like I'll still be like kind of like, all right, let me just. If she's going to be all,
I'll send you a link.
Yeah, it's
on your phone.
I'll watch it on my phone. It doesn't matter. But anyways, so first half, offensively, we started hot. Singletary, I've been kind of saying like motor, like is his nickname, but he's legit. Like I saw him like the first 2 weeks, like just the little subtle moves, like he's like legit juking the shit out of people. Like
it was fun to watch him run.
Like.
For sure.
They talked about him and they're like, Brandon Beane was like, he was my favorite, as Brandon Beane, my favorite person to scout this year. And I was like, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And he's, he
people,
can make
people try not to buy into that. They're like, it's hype. Like, there's some hype that maybe you should listen to because like when Zeke was getting drafted during that draft for fantasy football, like when he got to Dallas, I was like, yep, taking him. He's the best back in the league. He's just another Cowboy. Like, okay, like that's fine. I'm telling you, I believe in the hype.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
It's from Ohio State. I'm not claiming him.
Yeah.
New Ohio State fan here, so not claiming Zeke.
But no, I mean, literally, his MO was can make people miss in a phone booth, and in the NFL so far,
make people miss in a phone booth. I like that.
That was like one of the things coming out of there, and so far, he's been pretty
he's
agile.
He's I was gonna say he's pretty slithery for sure.
Yeah, so he's like a little bit bigger version of LaShawn McCoy.
That's what I was gonna say too.
He's like a combination of he actually, this is really funny. He's kind of a combination of Frank Gore and LaShawn McCoy.
Got the wheels,
like
got the wheels, and he gets the extra yards.
Yeah, so he's got a little bit of pop. He runs hard.
Skinny Eddie Lacy, if you will.
Fun. Yeah, I mean, that's a good
years 1 and 2.
Yeah, hopefully he has more than 2 years.
Hey, I say the same thing about any back that we have on our team, man.
But yeah, I mean, so he showed up a little bit. Josh again put together a clean game, and I think that's the most important. Everybody's been ripping on Josh, like as far as not playing a clean game. In the last 2 weeks, I think he actually put together his longest streak. And this is not like oh my gosh, he is a franchise, like he is like an MVP, league MVP, 89 dropbacks without an interception, new career long for him. So I probably just jinxed that he's going to throw in next week, But
which again is another thing we talked about last week. Like, there's just so many stats in the NFL like that we don't.
yeah.
Oh, by the way, just to interject here, so we were watching the Sunday night game, Giants Cowboys, and was explaining to my wife because I had Daniel Jones starting in fantasy and I was losing by like 10 at the time. We threw the screen to Saquon and I was talking about accumulating points, and she was like, "Well, she said it doesn't make sense for the quarterback to get like yards after the catch," and I was like, "Thank you." Literally, everyone says that because Daniel Jones will throw 5 yards and Saquon will leg it out for 60.
Yeah, no big deal.
Like, quarterback gets all the credit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It is a dumb
quarterback-driven
stat.
league.
It is a dumb stat for sure.
But yeah, so stat line for the team for us, third down efficiency, we're about 50%, so we're 6 of 12. Our defense played a lot better, especially in the second half. The first half, I'm pretty sure Adrian Peterson looks like he was 28 again. He ran 10 times for 100 plus yards, and he was tearing it up. Like I've looked at all the footage, and he was dragging people. Like Micah Hyde, like literally jumped on his back and was carried like 7 yards. And Micah Hyde is a great defender. So
yeah, I know.
Thank you.
Former Packer, you like to say, former Bills.
No Bills. But yeah, and in the second half, they ended up only rushing for 127 yards, and he was at 105, 101 at halftime. So they gave
put a lid on that.
They gave up less than 30 yards in the second half running, and I think listening to some of the Bills media this week, really getting and really tackling better in the second half, because that was a big problem, and then just gap integrity. We talked about we're a one gap team.
Right.
If you miss one tackle, then you break off big runs, and that's what's been happening in the last 2 weeks. So last week coming into the game, they talked about fundamentals. They talked about they did a lot of things in practice to get back to that. And to me, so far, they've showed that. They've also they've signed another D tackle that's a little bit more of a known run stopper. It's got a little bit more size. I think the one thing that our D line does not have is that, physical, like 375 pound, 360 pound D lineman that just is a run stuffer.
Yeah, because we had talked about being small, like on the interior defense.
Yeah,
a week or so ago.
So yeah, we're beefing up our line a little bit. I think the guy we signed, he's a known run stopper. I think he's like a little bit bigger. John Brown, the chemistry with him and Josh has, I think no one can say it's bad. Cole Beasley has 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games.
Yeah, I did see that. I was like, okay.
So he's starting to come on a little bit, especially in the red zone. Motor, obviously. So still got stuff to work on, and we in the podcast this week for the Bills, they were talking about we're 6-2 team, and we still have so much to work on. So halfway through the season, you can't be more excited than that, because if you still have so much to work on and you're winning games,
and you're a winning team currently.
They're still hungry. They still want to.
Yeah. That was the other thing too. When being hungry, that's what LaFleur hinted on too. Is like you gotta stay focused and you gotta want it at all times, and
almost every interview that you hear from a Bills player or like a coach, they say you gotta stay hungry, you gotta stay humble.
Yep.
And they
very humbling experience for our defense, I think.
Yeah. So I think they've lived it. So far they every time they've had a something that they needed to correct. I feel like they've done a good job doing that the next game. I think Josh continues to make steps in the right direction. I will say this week again, I think we're playing Cleveland at Cleveland. And this might just be me being a Bills fan and just worrying about everything, because we're supposed to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland has a lot of talent. I think we've said this since the beginning. Mainstream media or sports media has said Super Bowl aberrations. Like, clearly they're not going to the Super Bowl this year unless something crazy.
And I thought, they were an early pick for me to win their division.
Yeah,
and
they're
It's
getting
not even gonna be close.
yeah, no, I mean the way Baltimore's playing, even the Steelers, like they're coming on a little bit.
Minka Fitzpatrick's really like, it's really flashing a lot. It's getting
Two
two
picks
pick
against
sixes already. Yeah. So
So I mean, yeah. So you look at some of those things, but sooner or later they got to put it together. I think Baker is better than what he's played so far. You got Odell, you got Landry, Jarvis Landry.
I mean, look, man. Like I said it before. I liked Baker's attitude when he got drafted, and he's just not. I don't know. I wonder if the media is getting to him.
I think so. Like
I
some
think
things,
he's like tweaking a little bit and let it bother him. And when it wasn't bothering him, when he was calling out Colin Cowherd all his rookie year and stuff, and they were, still doing whatever whatever their record was at then, like he was playing way better then.
it's kind of that Bears thing. Like honestly, it's kind of like you got swag. Your rookie year, or, your first year, you kind of you do some things to be there, and like no one expected them to be anything. But they did a good job. They won some
They
games.
improved. Yeah, I mean,
had
they went from being a terrible team to a terrible team that improved on things.
Yeah, in almost every aspect.
Yeah.
And then you sign Odell. You continue to bolster that defense. Oh, Baker's in year 2. He's going to make some like you sign a offensive coach, which I talked to a Cleveland fan this week. One of our docs is a Cleveland guy, and he was like, yeah, and I was like, where did Freddie Kitchen come from? I think, mostly a college coach. But really, and I don't want to blame a coach because I think players have to play, but in certain situations, the coach helps so much. I think, with your guy LaFleur, Sean McDermott for us, I have complete faith in them. And I don't think that the Cleveland fan base can say that about Freddie Kitchens or Kitchens, whatever his first name is. I think it's Freddie. Sounds right.
His last name's Kruger.
Yeah. But, just it's a lot to put on a first-time head coach. And I believe he's a first-time NFL head coach. Don't know if he has any college head coaching experience, but that's a lot to put on him, especially with personalities like Odell.
Last name Kruger, first name Freddie, slashing up defenses.
So, I mean,
trying to.
so many personalities on that team. So,
but yeah, and when you have, and people said that before too, and I've said that Odell and Landry were teammates, so I don't think they're gonna let it bother them. But like when you have all that talent, you still have to force them the ball at some point.
Oh yeah, and I mean Nick Chubbs is the guy to me. I mean,
oh yeah, he is their workhorse, 100%.
And then this week, I think Kareem Hunt's coming back, so that's another weapon that they have.
I mean, he's activated though, if anything.
So we'll see. I mean, I think there's that potential that again, I've talked about. We're going to get a lot of people's best, swing right now because I think
because I think people are still looking at the Bills like it's the Bills.
Yeah,
but
I mean, that's
it's a 6-2 Bills team. So
yeah, and right now, like we're a wild card team. The Patriots just lost. We're one game back in the division. We still get to play them. Granted, it's at New England, so that's going to be a tough battle.
What month is that? Is that in December?
Yep.
So it's going to be cold.
Week 16.
Ooh, that could be for the division now.
It really could.
That would be exciting.
If we went out and they went out, I think we would need a little bit of help.
What would it mean for you to win the division over the Patriots? Like, forget playoffs and the run and how deep, but what does that mean to you as a fan to win the division over the Patriots?
I think that would just be...
I'm not going to... And see, the only reason I'm asking you is because I'm spoiled. I've had division championships for
I think that would mean so much to me, as far as, knowing that, trusting the process, trusting and those are some of the words that Sean McDermott has, Brandon Beane, trusting the process, because I believe they're doing this the right way. I really do. There's even moves. It's like, have you ever had anything messed up at Chick-fil-A? Your order messed up at Chick-fil-A?
No, but my wife has recently.
So, like, we joke at work because Chick-fil-A, people are so nice there, and it's like,
chicken.
It's like, oh, weird. Like Chick-fil-A knew what I wanted more than I knew what I wanted. That's why they messed up my order. It's not their fault. I ordered the wrong thing. So right now, that's what I feel like.
Thank you for correcting my mistake.
Right now, that's what I feel like for Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane. Like they can't do any wrong.
Right.
And even the things that they've done wrong, like, oh, my bad. Like,
yeah, sorry.
You know better. But no, you're so right.
Yeah, that's what we had talked about that too, because I feel that way about like LaFleur and Gutekunst, and so, yeah, and like I said, I joke about division wins because we've had a lot with Rodgers, but it would be nice. I mean, for sure, like you said, trust in the process. That's the start. Like asserting ourselves as, hey, we're back with the division kings, king of the North, because Game of Thrones references are cool.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think division wins are just as important on the way to the, because we won the Super Bowl as a wild card team, okay, so that's a big motivator. But why would you still not want that? Like, hey, we're division champions. Let's go win these playoffs.
And I think just not that until the Patriots are out of the playoffs altogether, that's just one more thing.
Just to touch on sorry, not to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Tom Brady in the pocket when he's getting rushed, it scares me to death. It's like watching a senior citizen play football. And I'm not trying to be funny because of his age, but I just want someone with eyes just to watch. If Brady doesn't let the ball go in 2 seconds, it's a nightmare. It's like a car wreck that's about to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, look, like I get it. Like I saw his off-season videos. He was running on the berm of the sand.
He does have a rushing touchdown this year, I believe.
From how many yards out?
5, I think.
5?
Oh
my god!
Like,
I cannot believe that someone didn't blow him up. Was it like a bootleg or something?
It was something silly. I think
there's no way, dude. Because
it was like week 2, I think.
All right. Well, whoever they played in week 2. I mean,
it was either Dolphins. I think it was Dolphins.
Well, all right.
Yeah. So I mean, but
still, like it looks. He looks frail. Like it's like I said, it's almost unnerving to see someone that it's like I used to watch wrestling as a kid. And it's like when the old legends came back. Huh?
You still watch it? Don't.
I have seen that AEW and it is pretty entertaining. They do some wild flippy stuff and they throw a lot of chairs at each other. So anyway, but it's like when an old guy came back and would do a match. It's like, all right, imagine Ric Flair wrestling today. Like, you'd be so worried for him. Am I wrong? Because you see this dude who's 1,000,000 years old being thrown around.
I don't even watch wrestling, but I know. Yeah,
you know who Ric Flair is, though. Like, at least you have something that you can visualize. Okay,
he's old.
But that's what it's like for me watching Tom Brady. It's like an old guy. Not like I said. I mean, he could still be a champion this year. It's definitely plausible. And I'm not discrediting anything he's done, but it's like so. It's like I said. It's just unnatural to see a guy try to scramble away from these 24-year-olds who can kill him.
Yeah,
it's just
they're twice his size. They run faster than he does.
Bench his house weight, whatever his house weighs. That's what they're putting on in plates.
Yeah, but maybe they feel bad. They're like, yo, he's got to go home to Giselle.
Dude, there is nobody that feels bad for Tom Brady if they're blitzing him on a clean look. I'm sorry.
No,
there's someone is like, I'm about to Tom Brady's about to feel this one.
Yeah, Giselle's about to feel this one. Is what they're saying.
Okay, all right. No one feels bad for Tom Brady at all. And he talks a lot too, which I appreciate because I think it's funny if he's like, what? Because he's such a dad when he's talking trash. But then it's like, dude, come on. If you catch a hot one from, Bosa,
You're wearing that. You're eating that.
Yeah.
I mean,
anyway.
No, I agree 100%. And I think there's times where Tom Brady has not looked like the elite passer that he has been. I was going to
say that too. Like some of his passes even, like you said, not clean is a perfect choice of words because they don't look tight. They're not coming out quick.
I mean, I would say he's physically.
Tom is undefeated, ladies and gentlemen.
He is physically stronger than Peyton Manning when he won his Super Bowl with Denver.
Sure.
Like I think he is a better quarterback at this stage.
I definitely think he's.
But we're seeing it. We are seeing the decline of Tom Brady, and I've said it. I've seen. I watch him twice a year. Like, is he still a good quarterback? Absolutely, but he is not the same quarterback he was 2 years ago. He's not the same quarterback he was even last year. And
it is crazy too.
And I think his arm strength is it's still good. It's an average NFL. His
deep ball is not accurate whatsoever.
Yeah, and those conditions in December,
that's gonna be interesting, right?
I'm wondering.
So you guys are tackling on concrete because the friggin' field is frozen.
Well, the other thing though is they still don't have their fullback, who was a big part of it.
Inkovich, right?
Yeah. He's on IR, I believe. I'm not sure if he's going to come back.
It's an extra blocker that he's missing.
So, great blocker. They have a practice squad guy that they signed. It was right around the time the Bills have played him. He's one of the NFL Europe kind of guys. It's like one of the transitional players. So like, their run offense, which was crucial to their playoff run last year, I don't think is going to be as strong. So
yeah, I mean, their defense is going to have to save them.
And I think their defense is fully capable of doing that. Yeah. But like Tom Brady, I don't think he's going to be able to carry them for long stretches. I think he'll be able to do it for short times, and he's going to be able to outsmart some defenses just because he's a quarterback that's seen pretty much everything you can see.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely knows the game, but like you said, I mean, just like even on our defense's best day, like if Rodgers ain't hitting, there's only so long before they gas out.
Yeah.
And that's just, I mean, they got a young defense and they got good players. Well, young, but yeah, I mean, they got veterans in there as well. So defense could definitely do it. But if Brady gets caught in a 3-and-out situation forever, could be it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just Father Time, like we said, many times. Forever. It will always win. Father Time will always win.
Until we start being able to clone ourselves.
And even then, you'll still have to, like, unless you clone and then, like, get them up to, like, playing age real quick.
Right. Because you can't assume that those clones are going to develop the exact same way.
Yeah, of course. So, you just can't do it.
So let's run through these picks, shall we? We got Thursday night coming up here in, 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Thursday night football. So that's, all right. So that's the Chargers at Oakland. Beating us the way that we looked, I'm going to give it to Oakland because Derek Carr's last couple of games have actually been pretty good, and Jacobs has been killing it. So I'm going to go with Oakland.
Going to Oakland?
Yeah.
In Oakland. I think Chargers, beating a good team, do they fall off is kind of the question. I don't think so. I think Anthony Lynn, their coach, I think he's a great motivator. I think Phillip Rivers, competitor. I think they pull that out. I'm not sold on Oakland. I'm not sold on Gruden, but yeah, I think L.A.
All right, and then we got Kansas City at Tennessee. Going to pick Kansas City even without Mahomes.
Yeah, Kansas City, hands down.
Arizona at Tampa Bay. Let's come back to this one.
Can we just say which Jameis Winston are we getting? Are we getting the good one or the bad one?
Yeah, the only reason I want to come back to this is because I don't know is Tampa Bay the upset or is it Arizona?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because if it's Arizona, I want to give it to Kyler Murray because he's actually looked halfway decent these last couple of games. Yeah. So we'll come back to that. I'm undecided. Giants at Jets. I'm gonna give it to the Giants, I guess. I mean, Jets are 1-7. Like,
yeah, they lost to the Dolphins last week. I'm gonna go Jets get their second win.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna get that. Might be my upset pick, but it probably is because based on records. But
cool. Atlanta at New Orleans. Definitely going New Orleans with Drew Brees in the Superdome
after a bye week. Yeah,
where he already did well coming in. Well, but he played decently. Buffalo at Cleveland. Yep, Buffalo.
I have to pick Buffalo.
Then we got Baltimore at Cincy. Going to Baltimore.
Let's go Baltimore with AJ Greenless forever. It seems like. I think I saw this week that AJ Green is out indefinitely because of an ankle injury.
I don't know if it's indefinitely. I didn't know that, but I did see where he was going to come back. They said that they thought he was going to come back, but he can't because of the ankle. But next week. But if he's out indefinitely again,
I think I heard indefinitely this week.
Amazing.
So yeah, no Baltimore. Yeah.
Sure. And then we got Detroit at Chicago, and at this point between these two, because each time I pick them, they're both just ass. So. I am going to go with.
Here, let me pick first.
All right,
just because you picked the last couple, I'm going Chicago because that would be 4 in a row, or would that be 5 losses?
I don't even know at this point. I think it'd be 4.
4 losses in a row.
Dakota's upstairs. We can ask him.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, I think it's got to be Chicago. I mean, it doesn't have to
Chicago to win. I am going just to counter you because you countered me on a pick. I'm going to pick Detroit then to win. Okay. Because it's in our division there. So Miami at Indy, picking Indy, even without Brissett.
Yeah.
Because I'm starting Marlon Mack in fantasy, and I think that he's going to get a decent workload.
Fair.
So, and we play each other.
I hope he doesn't.
Yeah. So, then we got the Rams at Pittsburgh, which this is also an interesting matchup because the Rams.
Cooks is out. Cooks has not really done too much this season.
So should I start Robert Woods?
Reynolds is the guy that's replacing him. I like Robert Woods. as a slot guy.
Trade him to you.
If it's a PPR league, I take Robert Woods. But
yeah, I don't even know who is in my flex right now. Actually,
yeah.
Oh, it's
Cooper Kupp's the receiver you want there.
Yeah, that is true. So yeah, I'm definitely taking the Rams. I think. I just don't.
Where are they at? Or is it at Pittsburgh?
They're at Pittsburgh. I think you know what? I will pick against Pittsburgh one more week. If they beat this team for some reason,
this would have to be an upset pick.
I think it would, right?
Yeah, but let's see, what was my upset pick? I picked
pick the Jets.
The Jets. Does that really count as an upset pick?
I don't even know. Like
both teams that play in New
equally
Jersey
as bad. So
both teams that play in New Jersey suck right now.
Yeah.
So the team that plays in New York
you're just picking the Jets and you make the upset Pittsburgh, I'll let you do that.
I'm gonna make Jets straight up. Pittsburgh is my upset pick.
Okay. Then in that case, then is it fair to say that Arizona and Tampa Bay doesn't have an upset and we can just pick that?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'm just gonna pick Arizona.
I agree. I think.
So then,
regardless of which Winston you get, unless you get like Super Winston, which happens once every how many years has he been in the league?
4.
Yeah, something like happens once every year.
Yeah, I mean he could throw for 600. Who knows? All right, so then Carolina at Green Bay. It's in Green Bay. There's probably going to be snow. Yeah, we're definitely winning that. 100%.
If
this is my, I mean, I gotta pick them. I mean, have to.
If you guys lose that game, I think,
it's not a must-win game in my opinion. People disagree, but I think it is important to win before the bye.
I think it's an important win for you guys. It's at home. I still think Kyle Allen I think he's doing a good job, but I think
this is going to bolster the secondary.
Yeah,
it can be a turnover by somebody. It's going to make them be like, "Oh, we can do this again."
Yeah, I don't think Carolina has enough. I mean, McCaffrey's pretty amazing.
You're going to have to ride him all the way to victory. He's going to have to rush for about 600.
Yeah,
which isn't impossible against us right now. So
yeah, no, I think that'll be a tight game. I will say that. I don't want to pick against the Packers though at home
in the snow.
Yeah,
can't do that.
Yeah, so
snow potentially. Yeah. All right. So in Minnesota against Dallas, would you consider Dallas a underdog? Because they haven't really beaten a good team. Because
I think that's fair.
Then my upset goes to Dallas.
I think that's fair.
Because they're guaranteed to show up against one good team this year. Might as well be Minnesota. It would be great for Dallas to beat Minnesota.
How's Dallas? You know Dallas a little bit better than I. How's their run defense?
Proxy by marriage. Their run defense, I think that, like I said, I think Dallas has an underrated front seven. I'm pretty sure Van Der Esch still isn't playing, but Sean Lee on Sunday night was looking like.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Like fresh out the draft, like.
Yeah. So
their run defense, though, I mean, they did play against Saquon. They gave up the screen. I mean, it's Saquon and Zeke, man. Like, that's a hard matchup.
Are they gonna be able to stop
Dalvin Cook?
Dalvin Cook is my question.
I don't know. Now,
when Minnesota has Dalvin Cook, Thigpen is not going to play this week. I don't believe. I think because of his hammy.
Who?
Tyler
Higbee.
Higbee, yeah. He's not playing this week. I don't think. I think he's questionable, but I just don't see him playing.
I don't know if Adam Thielen's back or not. So
yeah, Thielen. I don't think he's back.
But I'm giving to the upset because here's why. Because DeMarcus Lawrence and Jalen Smith off the edge are stupid. Like, they're just explosive. And I know they're doing the whole Hot Boys thing, but like I said, they're my... And I'm not... And shout out Amari Cooper for winning me my fantasy game, by the way. The only play that saved it.
Yeah.
That 40-yard tutter. So, but yeah, I'm going to give it to Dallas in the upset.
That's tough for me. I'll take Minnesota.
Okay. All right. And then we got Seattle at San Francisco, which is a hell of a Monday night game.
That's a really interesting, I think.
Because, right, the argument is for both of these teams is San Fran really real?
Yeah.
Is Russell Wilson really real right now? That's what's kind of going on. Yeah,
for real.
So the question is who is Seattle a real team or is San Francisco a real team? So it's really hard to pick this one, right?
Yeah. I like San Francisco, I do, but I also think Seattle is not bad. I'm not sure.
Well, with Josh Gordon, that's what I'm watching for because I picked him back up in fantasy because I want him to be good.
Yeah,
I want him to be a Packer, but Seattle was the only team to put a waiver out on him. So I will say potential season debut for Josh Gordon, Seattle wins. and they dethroned San Francisco as the only undefeated team in the league.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like they got to lose sometime because I don't think
Right.
San Francisco is a bad team, but I just don't think
They have pieces, but I feel like they're beatable.
Yeah, and I think every
Arizona put 34 on them.
yeah
Like they're beatable.
yeah. So like I want to root for San Francisco because I think they are good, but I just think Seattle's going to beat them because Seattle's kind of been there, done that.
Right.
In the division, they hate each other.
Yeah.
I mean, back to the Sherman
As I
days.
said, man, it's a hell of a game. Like two good teams on Monday night. Let's do it.
Sherman's going
If
to
you're a
do.
football fan, you got Sunday night Minnesota and Dallas, which isn't a bad game, and then you got Monday night Seattle, San Francisco.
Sherman's going to do
like
something
football.
stupid or funny. Like I don't know which way you see that, but he's going to do something stupid or funny during that game, or like press.
I mean, he definitely knows Wilson's tendencies.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the other thing. Like, did I say Seattle already?
I don't think you picked yet.
All right, let me.
You
Pick
said you want to root for San Francisco.
I want to. I'm gonna pick San Francisco.
And we counted a lot of picks this week.
Yeah, that's
We're making milestones.
yeah, it's all right.
So, all right. Sick, man. Well, let's see. What time's your game start? 1. My game's at 4. It's another week where I can see both.
Every game that the Bills play, besides the 2 Thursday night games, is at 1:00.
They flexed ours from 1 to 4, and I don't even know why they did that. I think it's because it was coming off the week of Aaron Jones, and then McCaffrey's still blowing it up. So maybe that was the whole point, but I don't know.
I'm surprised. Like I don't think we'll get flexed until Baltimore. That could be a game that we get flexed if we both continue to win, which that would be cool because I mean the Bills have truly not been relevant for the last since '93.
Cool.
I mean, maybe '99.
Yeah. So thanks for wishing me a happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday tomorrow, right? Or is it
Tomorrow. I just gotta give you a hard time.
It's all good.
They don't know. They should know. They're listening.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So,
Um,
but yeah, man.
Fun fact, I'm pretty sure on Sunday when we get to Dayton, Florida, I'm going to go shark fishing. So hopefully I have
That's
a video
sick. Yeah.
to
Can you get a scar from a shark that isn't fatal so I can be like, hey, my friend got bit by a shark?
No. I'm cool. I'm down to do stupid stuff.
So
Sharks?
I can put you through a table then in a Bills jersey. We have to do that at this point. You just said it and it's recorded. We don't edit. This is raw.
I'm pretty sure. Like I'm down to do dumb stuff, but
I won't set it on fire or throw you off my balcony.
Well, that's fair. We'll talk. We'll talk off air.
Okay. Okay. I see now. Now you
Totally
set a
not
trap.
happening. Totally not happening. On
All
the
right.
list of things that will happen,
On the list of things that will happen, this will not happen.
this is one of them that will not.
All right, man. Well, this has been Counting by 7. I'm Robbie.
This is Justin.
Yeah. So we'll see you in a week. Later.